What are you looking at? Oop. Oh. You want to be the monster? Because it's not like I've got any spawning in here. I don't even know what to say to this one, so I'm just gonna leave it. Come on. You know, I built this for monsters, and all I did was turn my sheep demonic. Well, I mean, I can't grow my own monsters, so store-bought's gonna have to do. Anyway, hi, hello, I'm the ImpendingMoon, and welcome to Minecraft Infdev 2010-06-27. And the main addition in this version has been, they put chests inside of minecarts. So now, you know, like, you open them up like chests, and they look like that now. Except for the fact that I also removed the feature that these are chests, and now they're writable. So I really don't know why they added this. No, but seriously, the main addition to this version is the addition of monster spawners, which, as far as I can tell, is pretty much the only way to get decent amounts of monsters. Because, well, I mean, have you seen the past however many episodes? It's just no monsters. Now, with the addition of spawners comes one additional caveat. You need to go exploring to find them. So, of course, that means I went exploring on a backup and found some on MC Edit, but shh, you don't need to know that. Also, the wool's white. It was light gray before, just thought you should know. Also, I just remembered, I was gonna replant the tree over here. Should probably get around to that sometime. Alright, now that it's daytime, I guess we can just go push the minecart around for some good luck. And I will be on my way. Since I've already explored in this direction, I think I'm going to go... I think this is north. Honestly, I have no idea. So, I'm just gonna call this north, and hope that it is. Whoop. And away I go. Also, since these trees are old generation, and there's a new decay algorithm, they are just constantly decaying and producing saplings. If I go ahead and turn FPS on, you can see that entity number constantly climb. Which means if I stay in one area for too long, it's gonna start getting real laggy. And ta-da! New chunks. There's like one chunk that I generated sometime between when I first started the world and right now. And I think that's what this border is. But it also could just be the fact that alpha generation is weird, and sometimes a lot of things look like chunk borders. But whatever. That's not really something I need to worry about right now. You know, I got a good feeling about this place. So I'm just gonna start digging in this, unknown spot for no apparent reason. Alright, so I found a cave that could spawn monsters. Ignore the, oddly straight line that I took to get here. And hey, would you look at that? I never would have guessed there would be a monster spawner here. Okay, getting aside, I went into a backup of this world on this version, and generated out to this, and found a monster spawner in MC Edit. So, that's how I did it, that's how I knew where this was. I'm not gonna sit here exploring for hours while wasting, like, hard drive space recording this. But anyways, look at the little guy, just spinning in there. Alright, so let's see what loot we got. So we got iron, gunpowder, and string. And 4 saddles! Alright. But there is one other thing that I need to show. What am I willing to leave behind first? Probably... I don't know, probably the 10 cobblestone. I don't care about that. And that is something that's going to infuriate many people. Huh? What? What's he doing, huh? Shouldn't he be making a farm out of this? Well, little do you know, these take a while to break. They drop themselves. Would you look at this? I have an actual spawner. And it always turns out to be a pig spawner. Because NBT data is weird and not carried through. But anyways, in this version, like, monster spawners are plentiful. They're just kind of hard to find if you don't know where they are. So I can just get them pretty much wherever. And that means this one here, I can just loot and steal the spawner for my own nefarious deeds. Which is to, spawn pigs. I know, right? I am shockingly evil. Anyways, I think before I make the trek back, since it's gonna be nighttime pretty soon, even though the chance of monsters spawning are low, they're still not zero. I think I'm gonna camp out for the night and just build a thing, because that sounds like fun, and I could use another embassy. Alright, and with a quick bop and bop, our second embassy is just about good to go. It's got a pretty tall roof compared to the rest of it, but, it's got some ceiling space, so I'm fine with it. And all it needs now is a quick sign to market. Perfect. Alright, now all I need to do is get my ambassadors in here. So, let's see. Ah, Chancellor Swineson, how good is it to see you? Now tell me, what opinions do you have on your plans for... Now tell me, what plans do you have for this foreign land here? It's okay, take your time. Oh. Well, okay then. I feel like I probably could have chosen better. Yeah, keep it to yourself, man. But, we'll just leave him to his business. And I guess just wait out until daytime. Seriously. I don't think I could have chosen worse. Oh. Well, luckily this archipelago's inhabitants are one sheep and one pig, so I don't know what the worst he could do is, so, I'll just leave him to his business. Oh, make that 2 pigs. Can it, man? Alright, and with the sun rising, I think it's about time that I head back south, and I guess leave Mr. Swineson to his duties. I feel like this is going to have consequences, but since I'm not going to be around to see him right away, I don't really care. Oh. Nearly jumped off a cliff because of chunk borders. Land gets weird when you start moving between versions. And there, off in the distance, just loaded in my castle. Nice. Ah, home sweet home. Alright, so let me head back up to my castle and put some stuff away. Ooh, and before I forget... Alright, now, of course, when I need a pig, I can't find one. But who says I need to find one? There we are. Let's see. Aha! I am the ruler of the world! Off the back of this pig. Which I can't control, or do anything with. Heck, I can't even sit on it right. My legs just phase through it, and my head turns 180 degrees. Also, F5 turns on water particles for some reason. But for now, I think the main thing that I want to get done is I want to actually put in a minecart station inside of here. Or at least get the start of one built. Because I think that having minecarts from each embassy is going to be useful in transporting myself places. So the first step of that, sadly, is to go ahead and break down this track. Anyway. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go start digging out this and actually make room for a station. So I'm kind of thinking like subway platform for my station design. So I'm going to dig it out like that and see how it looks. Alright, so I've got like the main platform dug out and I've started digging out the actual like railway area. The only issue is that I don't actually know how I want this to be set up. because there are a few ways that I could eventually do a station. Right now, there's not much more I could do than just to lay down some rails, but when booster tracks come into play, I could have it so that there are 2 booster tracks in the middle between these 2. I could have a redstone-based one eventually. Otherwise, there is a design that I saw for a circular one, but it would put the tracks pretty far apart on the station, and I don't think I want that. So for now, I'm thinking a good distance would probably be 3 or 4 blocks in between the 2 tracks here, and I can widen it later if I have to. And with this laid out, I can plop down my first set of tracks here, and then proceed to not really do much with them. Because, I mean, it's gonna take ages to actually build the minecart tracks over to places, because each embassy is like hundreds of blocks, either north or south, and I also should really name these places. But, yeah, I also can't make a station or anything, so, yeah, boosting isn't really possible, but there is technically an alternative. That is, hopping in and out of a minecart repeatedly will boost it forward, because getting out of one will place the player right inside of it. Now, turning is kind of odd. Doesn't always work right. Yeah. Like, it's turning me in the reverse direction. Also, sometimes you take fall damage. Who cares? It's not really practical, and I don't know. I've got some time between now and the addition of booster tracks, so I can actually finish the railroads before I can actually use them, I guess. But with all that aside, I'm just going to leave it alone for now, because again, I'm not going to waste precious hard drive space on placing a ton of rails. But what I will waste hard drive space on is an area for me to place my pig spawner in permanently. Now, I mean, I know I have enough right now, but eventually it's just going to be really useful to be able to just go somewhere and get basically unlimited food. So, I'm thinking right here is probably a good spot. I have kind of an idea in mind for a design. We'll see how it goes. And then, yeah, I guess that's it. Let me go grab some blocks and I'll get building. Now, I think a good idea for some humane treatment of pigs is to give them grass as their floor instead of, like, stone or wood. Just so that they have some mud or something to roll around in. I don't know. Then, I'm going to use this as a placeholder for the spawner right now. And I'm going to go out, say, I think 5 blocks is a spawner's range. Alright, so like this is going to be where the pigs spawn. Then, a couple more blocks out for just like a walkway or something. I don't know. Now, what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to build a circle around it. Because I think it's just a nice way to spice up the design a little bit. So if I go like this, and I mean, you know, an 11 diameter circle isn't exactly the most complicated thing to make. But with that, I can go, say like this if I wanted to. And then I could have specific platform here so that you've got an entrance, but it leads into kind of a dome-like shape. So I think that's going to look pretty cool, and I'm going to build it that way. And if it doesn't, then I guess I'll suffer, because this is going to take a little while to build. Alright, so this is the main shape of the place done. I think the dome shape is actually looking really cool right now. I mean, I did kind of make it all out of cobblestone, because I thought wood would look a bit weird. I think it would have been better if I replaced some of this stuff with stone slabs, but if I really don't like it that much, I can always change it later. But right now, I think the best thing that I can do before putting in the spawner is slapping in some glass on all the windows. Also, yes, this doorway does lead straight to a sheer cliffside, but don't worry, I've done absolutely nothing to remedy that. Alright, so I've got all the glass filled in, and I'd say it looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I like how open it makes this thing feel. So, there is one thing that I want to throw down before I put in the spawner, and that's a door, so that no pigs get out and no other things get in. And with that in place, I feel pretty comfortable removing this and plopping in that. And would you look at that? Conditions are prime for pigs. And I mean, I don't know what else I was expecting. It's just a pig. You come down here, and occasionally you get a pig. Yep. Working as intended. I mean, I suppose the only thing to do now is to spin with the pig. I gotta get in time with it. You know what? Getting in time is not happening. I think spinning along with it is enough. Oh, okay. Pig said no. I'm done here. Well, anyways, yeah, I guess that's pig. So, I'm just gonna throw down a chest that, of course, never faces the right way. And I guess just, leave these guys. And hopefully not fall off this cliff. Because I guarantee you, I am not coordinated enough to, always remember that there's a cliff here. But that's a problem for future me, and that's probably going to be one of my first accidental deaths. But, hey, hasn't happened yet. And I mean, yeah, from a distance, it looks pretty alright. Let me see how it looks from another angle. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see from the mountain, but this angle looks pretty good. And then from on top of the mob spawner, I'd say this build is pretty good. I would rate it 4 pigs out of 5. And what does that mean in a practical sense? Oh, just look at all the pigs in there. I'm gonna call you George, and I'm gonna call you Jeffrey, and I'm gonna call you George 2. George 3 and 4! Wow. But I mean, with all this done, I have once again completed everything in my notes. This time in a shorter time than I expected, which is nice to actually have for once. But yeah, I mean, we've found our spawner and made it into probably an entirely more useless, but also more cool spawner. I've gotten started with a minecart station, which will eventually be finished. I've made an embassy to the north, and I built this thing. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty successful episode. Anyway, next update is a pretty major one. And I'll be honest, it doesn't add that much, but what it does add, I'm totally gonna make use of. But anyways, I've been the ImpendingMoon, and good night. What? That could have ended poorly. I forgot one block water doesn't break my fall.